I'm Ashley Holloway, welcome to my Ashtec workshop. In a minute you'll see how we're preparing and servicing the engines, but now I just want to show you around, so come in. Firstly, this is our preparation area where we put all the engines together. This is a standard service that's going out next week, so all the measuring equipment to measure the pistons, cylinders, conrods. This is the dynamic balancing machine, something we invested in last year. Yeah, all the crank assembly equipment, measuring equipment there as well. Through here, back through the door is the cleaning bay. Got your standard degreaser tank. Everything's cleaned manually, then straight into the hot wash afterwards. Yeah, through here is the honing machine. You'll see how we use that all later on for honing the barrels and conrods. Small office in here. That's yeah, where we do all the paperwork. And back through here, the ignition testing equipment, where we test all the new and old ignitions, anything we want to try new. Valve spring tester, all computerized, so really important piece of equipment there. Flow bench, where we test the new cylinder heads to make sure everything's as it should be. Through here is all the valve seat preparation. This is where we cut the valve seats. This is a special grinding tool to reface the cutters, all the pilots, everything there. Standard lathe, just what we use for bits and pieces. Valve refacer, you'll see how we use that later on. And through here we've got the dyno, where Bartek's just bolting in an engine for dyno test later on. It's always been a dream of mine to be involved in Speedway. My dad was a pretty high-level rider in England when he was riding, and he basically bought me the first Speedway bike. Moved on then to obviously moving to Denmark to try and advance my career. That didn't work. I'm a little bit too big for riding the bike, so I got into the mechanical side of things. Worked for Nicky Pedersen, a few other guys, as the normal mechanics as you see today. Then got offered a job to move to Poland and work for Andreas Jonsson doing his engines, and kind of all snowballed from there. Now I'm here. After the mechanic side of things with Nicky, I moved on to work for Brian Carger. Had 2.5 very good years with him. I knew the basics of an engine anyway, because I'm a motorcycle mechanic by trade, so I learned the basics of an engine, and then kind of, yeah, just got to a stage with Brian where I had the chance to do something on my own and try some of my own ideas, and yeah, basically that's how it all started. But my career really took off as an engine tuner when I started working with Emil. Basic engine, everything is most of the parts are GM parts, you know, the cylinder head, everything. But all the components inside are stuff that we found ourselves, you know, through sourcing through different countries and different places and different people that make high quality parts to give you that extra to make this engine better than what the other guys got.
I rozebrany silnik.
So it was 10 tons on it, yeah?
Yeah, around the 10 or 11.
11 ton i mamy rozmontowany wał z korbowodem.
So there's the used bearing, which we replace every service.
Czyli na każdym serwisie wymieniamy właśnie ten element.
Every service I'll change the bearing, and then I'll inspect the crank pin if that's all okay. These can do between 50 and 60 races before you change that.
Is it due to the new silencers or it's...
No, look,
or it's not a difference.
That's not really an issue down there, you know. That makes no difference. It's you know, if you've got good oil, everything. But you just need to. More important is to check if the conrod is stayed round, you know.
Musi być okrągły, a nie owalny. Czyli nie odkształca się.
Yeah, I've got a tolerance of that I'm not going to tell you because that's.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Ale wiemy, że ma się nie odkształcać. So we know that it cannot change the shape. Yeah.
If it does, then we need to go to the honing machine and make straight. So
Yeah.
So we'll go there and do this then.
No to idziemy na honowanie teraz. And what's the liquid you're using? And it's not the water, it's
No, this
oil?
is a special honing oil from Sunnen, from the company, American company.
Ah, right.
Sunnen.
Ah, okay.
25 litres of this costs 2,500 zloty for 25 litres.
No way.
Yeah.
2,500 złotych za 25 litrów
And
oleju do honowania.
I need 50 litres for this machine.
A Ashley potrzebuje do tej maszyny 50 litrów.
I don't need 50 every year, so I'd say 25.
No, 25 jednak się okazuje, że potrzebne jest do Ashleyowi do tej maszyny. Zużywa się różnie, raz więcej, raz mniej.
Alright, so now we've done the conrod. While we're here, we'll give the cylinder a hone. You can see now this is used. I don't know if you can see very good, but it's very dull.
To jest zużyty właśnie cylinder, tak wygląda.
So we'll give that a freshen up.
Troszeczkę go odświeżymy właśnie. Także cylinder też przechodzi przez honowanie. And what parts of the engine are being honowanie?
Only this two, the conrod and the cylinder.
Czyli tylko dwa elementy silnika podlegają temu procesowi. Korbowód i cylinder.
This one was oval, you could feel that straight away.
Nice smell.
Yeah.
No ten olej troszeczkę pachnie, takim olejem po prostu. Może nie takim olejem klasycznym z samochodu, ale specyficzny zapach wydziela. Musimy poczekać na telewizory 4D, żeby Państwo to mogli poczuć.
Alright, so that bit's done. Now we turn this off.
I po honowaniu. Na czyszczenie zapraszamy też.
Sorry about the noise. Okay, so now, yeah, it's loud. Now we go in to inspect this now, because before you couldn't see if there was any marks in the conrod.
Czyli wcześniej po prostu nie można było zauważyć wszelkich usterek,
Now we'll
uszczerbków.
go to the light.
Idziemy do światła i będziemy teraz...
And we'll check.
Ashley będzie tak naprawdę poddało to szczegółowej inspekcji.
Check if everything's okay. And everything looks good.
We've got a
Happy with
positive
that?
verdict.
Happy with that? Okay, so I'm happy with the conrod. This is all stuff from a different tuner, from Flemming Gravison. He produces the big end pins, and they're the best on the market, and he sells them to everyone, so...
Czyli to są...
That's good.
Czyli widać, że tunerzy współpracują, so tuners are cooperating.
Yeah. Flemming sells some good parts. He sells some good stuff to the others.
And you've got to put every single
one in there.
Ty może w tym czasie pokażę stare łożysko. O, właśnie się rozsypuje w ten sposób.
There are different types of bearings.
All right.
These are the best.
Can I make a little bit of mess here?
Yeah, just leave it there, no problem. So we give the conrod some oil.
Teraz troszeczkę oleju.
Make sure that's good. Perfect. All good. It's the new one. Now we need to put it back together.
But this oil smells nice. It's like
This oil, yeah, this is a mixture that I make. Just it's a little bit more rough than the normal oil, and it's a bit better after honing.
yeah, but
After honing, it's a little bit better for the engine. So the piercing, this will go good against the cylinder, and the same with this.
I'm trying to find the ingredients in here, but I cannot. To pachnie trochę jak guma arabska, trochę owoców, some fruits,
Maybe.
but it's not stinky, let's be honest.
No, there's not really anything that smells. I'm going to build up the bottom end of the engine, and you are going to put the silicone on the cylinder on the bottom. We need all around here, so just like that,
Oh, like this, okay.
like you're doing a birthday cake.
I never did a birthday cake. It's not as easy as it looks.
That's good, that's good.
Za wcześnie mnie pochwaliłeś.
How's it going?
Not good. But it could be worse. So around this,
Yeah, around them sides too. Yeah, not so much. Don't squeeze so hard.
trying.
Okay, let's have a look. All right.
And now
Now you got to do it again. Yeah, it's we use a lot of silicone in our job, so make sure that's nice and pushed down. Okay.
And what's this metal you put on the silicone is for?
This is it's a base gasket, so this adjusts the compression of the engine. Okay, so you've done the silicone.
Yeah, I've done.
Perfect. So put that back. Now we're going to put the new piston rings on the piston.
Because we are building the engine. The
Yeah.
engine is most important. And Ashley, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so now we give the piston some oil. And then the piston rings some oil. Then we take the silicone coated.
And one question,
Barrel.
Ashley. What's this for? It's like,
This
maybe
is,
it's a simple question, but let's
it's,
explain.
These are the cam chain adjusters. So this is your cam chain.
Yeah.
Later on when we put this in, this is where your cam chain runs. So it's kind of a guide for the chain,
Oh, right.
and then it adjusts the tension. Okay, and then we go down. Put that down. So now we've got the crankshaft in. Obviously the piston's connected to the conrod. Cylinder's on. Now we need to tighten the cylinder. So we've got four bolts here that go in. Not too tight to start with.
All right.
It's important that it all settles down together. Now we've got the bottom end. We just check that it's nice and straight. We're in for the tolerance there, so that's okay. So that's it. That's so far bottom of the engine's serviced. People install the springs at different height, different pressures. Now, usually if you give the spring a little bit more pressure, it's a bit better off the start. But if you've got an engine that you really want to hook up on the very slick tracks, you'll give it less spring pressure. So usually the more spring pressure, the more torque you get with the engine. So I've got this machine here it's from America. It's probably one of the best machines on the market. I put in the spring pressure I want. Then I put in the cam lift. And then I just check away. First I give the springs a massage because they lose pressure after the first few times of checking them. And now we need to reface the valves. Right, so let's go in here. You like it? This is for refacing the valve. Now, this is the problem with the titanium valves. You can't reface this. So if this happens where you got the dirt inside the engine, if you get the dirt in the engine, the titanium, you can't do anything with it. You need to replace it.
Okay, so just throw it away.
Throw it away and put a new one.
And with this one, you can.
This one you can reface it. You can hear that this valve wasn't straight, it wasn't perfectly straight, so we grind it back until it's straight. And now that surface is perfect. And if you can hear that, you'll hear the riders say a lot of the time, oh, that the engine's lost power, or 9 times out of 10, that's what's happened. The exhaust valves have got too hot, and they've warped. So now we're going to go to this machine and just to clean the valves, just to get all the carbon and make them nice and clean.
Przed i po. Różnica jest. Tymi zaworami większymi paliwo wpada do komory spalania, a tymi wyjeżdża w zasadzie już nie paliwo, ale opary, że tak powiem, wynoszą się tymże mniejszym zaworem. Taka jest różnica. Wydechowy, wlotowy.
Okay. So that's the valves done. Perfect.
Lovely.
Now we go and check the head. Watch the cake. Don't film the cake.
We will.
Basically now what we're going to do, we're going to grind the valve back to the seat, and we have to ensure that surface, which is a 45-degree angle, when those two surfaces touch, needs to be completely tight. So by doing that, we use a special lapping compound. This is what they use for polishing the insides of guns. It's a super fine,
Really?
600
Nice.
grit, yeah, which will give us a nice perfect seal on the valve. But this is probably one of the most important aspects of the engine. If your valves are sealing nicely, the bike will pull off the start and it will pull around the track. Let's get you going. You can take a standard engine from GM and it will be okay. It will work, everything will be okay, but if you want to take it to the next level, it's these processes that make that work. So, you know, making sure your valve seats are perfect, making sure your valves are perfect, your valve springs are installed correctly. All this stuff is only 5% of each thing. Is difficult, especially when with the Speedway engine we've only got the Gaznik, the carburetor.
carburetor.
We've got fuel injection. So we have inconsistencies every time we go to the track. It's always different temperatures, different air pressures. Everything's always different.
Surface also.
Surfaces as well. You know, it's never. That's the biggest problem straight away. You go to the track and it's a different material. It's been raining 3 days before, or it's had sunshine 3 days before. So it's a tough job. It's a tough job, but it's a nice job.
So let's get back to work.
Just watch your hands. Don't touch anything when you've got this stuff on. You need to clean, because this is important. If you get this on inside the engine, it will grind everything away. This is just to measure the length from the length of the valve.
Oh, okay.
So now, because I know from the machine, to get those correct kilos, that's told me how long the spring has to be. We've got 32.3, so we need 1.8 millimeters under that spring. To summarise, we've stripped the engine, cleaned it, we've serviced the crankshaft, we've honed the barrel, conrod, put that back together, Now we've got this, we've cut the seats, or cut the valves, ground the seats, installed new springs. Now we're ready to put the rest together. The guy was happy with this engine, so it's just going back together how it came. So we do the valve timing.
The camshaft is popular in Polish krzywka.
Krzywka, tak.
Very popular stuff.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
a very important one.
This is the heart of the engine. This is where, yeah.
This. It looks like this.
Yes, exactly.
Is this one invented by your own, or it's just
Oh, this is
tornado racing?
No. It's one designed by myself, but made by somebody.
Ah, all right. So it's not a big secret as we are showing this, probably, yeah? Because sometimes the camshaft is a secret for other tuners.
It is a secret, but you can't see too much from
All right.
from there. So. This is a normal engine. This is actually Emil's old engine that Josh Bates bought in the winter. And all Emil's engines are named after old world champions. So this one was Billy Hamill. You can see there, it's Billy 09.
Can we turn it? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can zoom in there.
All right. Billy Hamill, nice.
Billy Hamill, this was Billy Hamill. And
We're gonna see him.
There's a nice story behind that. This was an engine from last year, or what we know, 2014, 13. This was an engine from I made this engine for the World Team Cup in 2012 when
Emil was riding there.
For Russia. And this was a copy of an engine that we had in 2009. That's why it's called Billy 09. And Billy Hamill in 2009 was the engine he won his first Grand Prix on. Okay, so now we install the camshaft. It's a pretty aggressive way to do it, but it's the only way, so please ignore the hammer. Basically, this is the heart of the engine. This is what determines when the valves open and close. So basically, you've got your intake side here where your intake rocker arm, which we're going to put on in a minute, will rest on there, and then this will turn around and push the valves open at the right times, and the same with the exhaust. Obviously, that sits on there, which rests on there. If you've got a good camshaft and the engine's serviced and everything's sealing properly like it is now, the engine will work. So we've got everything ready now on the valve train. Crankshaft.
So we can say it's łańcuch rozrządu in Polish.
Yeah,
rozrząd.
exactly.
Yeah.
Rozrząd.
Rozrząd. Yeah. And now we are finding the time of the opening the valves, yeah?
Exactly, correct. Yeah.
Yes, that's first thing I got.
You got it right.
Yay!
Right. I just got to adjust my clocks. This is the oil pump, and this spring just holds it in place. It's not a pump; it's just like
it's
oil
okay.
feed.
All right.
So basically, this is what puts the oil to the conrod.
All right.
So you'll see the riders or the mechanics put the oil in here when the bike. So this is your oil reservoir. Your oil sits here. This feed pulls the oil through into the conrod. Oh, this is the oil filter. Shouldn't forget that. It's 8 hours job for me and for Bartek. So
For one engine.
for one engine, we normally start at 6 in the morning and finish 4 or 5. So there's 10 hours there. I can do 2 a day with Bartek. Let's just check if you've done the valves good. That's pretty tight. Let's see if you can turn that around. That way.
Like this?
Yeah.
No. Oh, it's like, it's full of oil.
Do it.
Ah!
You did a good job. You did a good job doing his valves.
It's very hard now.
That's how
it's
it should be.
the same it is in the bike?
Yeah. That's
So
how
we
it
don't-
must be.
Yeah, but you've got bigger wheels.
Bigger wheel to
yeah,
turn it
so-
round, but when you... What?
yes.
You did it.
This is the engine, this is the speedway.
So that's it. All done. Well done.
And he's the guy.
First
who
job.
did this.
Well done.
Thank you.
You ready, boys?
Gotowy jesteś?
I don't know what to say.
Oh.
Bartosz?
We're in a workshop, don't worry. To jest Bartek.